My family and I volunteer for a ministry called Together for Good. TFG's mission is to help the church come alongside vulnerable families to prevent child abuse and neglect. One of the ways Together for Good does this is through the temporary hosting of kids. So our family served as hosts for 2 little boys. Their mom had a serious medical condition that required her to be in the hospital to be monitored for 4 days in a row, once a month. She was a single mom and she didn't have anyone else in her life that she trusted to watch her kids while she was in the hospital. So the boys would stay with us while their mom was getting her treatments. Then other Together for Good families from churches around the Twin Cities would support us during those hostings by helping with rides or bringing meals. I think it turned what could have been kind of a scary childhood experience into a monthly slumber party for those kids. Something that never really struck me before working with TFG is that our current child protection system only removes children from the home after severe or repeated abuse and neglect has already happened to that child. And the trauma of those events and the trauma of being taken from your parents, even if they were abusive parents, has a lasting psychological, emotional, and physical impact on children that often go on to create a generational cycle of abuse in families. These parents are usually just normal people who are under a tremendous amount of pressure. They're generally very socially isolated. And when a family's been under chronic stress for a long time and then a crisis hits and they have no safe support system to look to, bad things can happen. So after learning this, my question is, why would we wait? Why would we wait until after a family has kind of gone over the edge to step in and help? Together for Good empowers the church to become a support system so families can stay stable and stay together. When a medical crisis or housing loss happens, or even when mom just needs a respite weekend to catch up on laundry and sleep, TFG volunteers can step in to be the village that every family needs. These are the orphans and widows of our day and age. We're called as a church to care for them. And the preventative, relationship-based ministry that TFG uses is a beautiful way that we can fulfill that calling.
My name is Britta Weber. I'd like to tell you about New Life Family Services. New Life is very near and dear to my heart because of the comprehensive gospel-centered approach we take toward caring for both the unborn and those going through pregnancy-related situations. If you're not familiar with New Life, we are a holistic Christian ministry that exists to honor the sanctity of human life by offering comprehensive services. I've had the honor of working for New Life for over 20 years. I've had the privilege of being a part of placing over 50 babies into Christian homes through adoption as an adoption social worker. We also have 4 pregnancy care centers and a 5th projected to open in the Phillips neighborhood in 2021. These centers offer free services including pregnancy tests, ultrasounds, STD testing and treatment, decision-making counseling, and a parenting program with a baby and maternity clothing closet. New Life also offers a program called Conquerors, bringing hope and healing for women and men who've experienced the pain of abortion. With your giving to Kingdom Builders, know that your faithful support allows New Life Family Services to have a transformative impact in the lives of the women, men, and families that we serve. And we are very grateful for your partnership.
Hi, I'm Mike Bergman from the Bloomington location. I get to tell you about Your Relief and Arrive Ministries, 2 Christian organizations that are dear to me. Both serve refugees, although in quite different ways. About 5 years ago, God started drawing me to the cause of refugees. I read stories about refugees in North Korea, Southeast Asia, and Africa. In each one, I saw individual people created in the image of God, who were forced to run from their homeland because it was too dangerous to stay. Imagine that. You pick up your family and flee to somewhere, anywhere, because it might be safer than home. I knew I wanted to do something, but didn't know where to start. Then I learned about Euro Relief, a Christian organization with a central role in the Moria refugee camp in Greece. And our association of churches was already working with them. I knew instantly that I wanted to get involved. So 2 years ago, I went to volunteer, and last year I took 12 people with me from this church. Most of the families in the camp are Muslims from Afghanistan and Syria. Each one has a heartbreaking story. One father lifted his shirt to show me the knife wounds that the Taliban had inflicted upon him. We got to listen to people's stories, pray, and share a bit of hope. What's amazing is that we were often the first Christians that many of them had ever met. Sadly, the camp burned back in September. Now these people, almost 15,000 of them, are living in even worse conditions. But Euro Relief is still there, providing shelter, clothing, really hope, all in the name of Christ. Hopefully next year we'll take another trip there. In the meantime, we have the opportunity to support their work financially, and I hope you'll join me in doing so. The second organization is Arrive Ministries. Arrive is a local Christian nonprofit. I started working here about 1.5 years ago. As my awareness of the refugee crisis grew, I felt a longing to leave my corporate job and begin working in nonprofit ministry. But how? Who would want me? I'm just a basic corporate guy. But God was moving, and He miraculously opened a door for me at Arrive, and I am so grateful. Arrive serves those refugees who are chosen for resettlement to the United States and Minnesota. We have the incredible privilege of welcoming them, helping them get established in a new apartment, finding jobs, most importantly, connecting them with volunteers from local churches who become their new friends and help them get established in our culture. One time we met a refugee family at the airport with banners, flags, smiles. They walked right past us. We stopped them, and their first response was, "I thought you were here for someone important." We told them that no, we're here for you. And they said no one has ever welcomed us anywhere before. That's the magic of Arrive. We get to be the hands and feet of Christ, perhaps showing love to someone who hasn't felt it for a very long time, if ever. We're a small nonprofit that's focused on growing the kingdom right here because God has brought the nations to us. And that's why Hometown has made Arrive a Kingdom Builders partner. You know, God has unmistakably called us to welcome the stranger and to love the foreigner. Euro Relief does this overseas at refugee camps, and Arrive works right here in Minnesota. What an opportunity we have to be salt and light, to serve Jesus through both of these organizations. Please join me in supporting Kingdom Builders this year.